Hello, this video is all about Final Fantasy XIV's Minions, the collectible little fellas that drive me personally insane to try and collect. Let me prefix this by saying that with so much collectible goodness in a game as rich and as vibrant as Final Fantasy XIV, which you should totally play by the way if you are by some mystically magical any way watching this video without doing so before, trust me, you won't regret it. With so much of the collection options available in this game to those who crave that sort of thing, be that shiny weapons of previously devastating power and, well, ultimately glamour, outfits galore from hunting for items for use in complex rotations with a recently improved crafting system to make that perfect dress, to armor sets mixing and matching to your heart's desire, making that ultimate badass dragoon set or your adorably kawaii kitty. When it comes to collections, you name it, people will try to collect them all, and specifically that was my small little goal on the side when I started this game. Yeah, it wasn't such a small goal after all, because minions got added in spades since A Realm Reborn's launch. From minions that come from raid tiers, to minions that have pretty much a 1% drop chance from a fishing line, minions that require rare materials from high-end trials to craft them, minions from hours of quest lines, and minions from literally the bottom of the sea that just plain don't exist despite how much time and money you try to shake into building a submarine. I'm looking at you, Meerkat. I hate you. I need you, but I hate you so very much. This then is my 10 favourite minions, in no particular order, but they are my top 10 minions if you would like to call it that, and these are the ones that I pull out the most often, my precious particular familiars, my suitably succulent species, my, well yeah, you get the general idea, ones that I generally like.
Number 10.
All these top 10 videos that I search for usually have this deep voiced intro. I mean, this is YouTube after all, we have to tick all of the cliches, surely. So number 10 is the Attendee 777 minion. This then was obtained from the Namazu Beast tribe in Stormblood. The storyline from this tribe back then was the entire reason that I renamed my community the 777 Whiskers. It's absolutely glorious. A rich, hilarious storyline sets the backdrop for probably the greatest addition to the Final Fantasy world since the Cactuar. Namazu are frankly perfection, insatiably derpy on the outside, but disturbingly aware on the inside. This series of storyline actually beat the corresponding main storyline at the time for complexity and depth, in my own opinion. I actually enjoyed every cutscene, every dialogue box, every little note, stuff that I usually gloss over and ultimately miss out on with the previous tribes, such as the Moogles, which I tried very hard to like back in Heavensward, but ultimately gave up on and skipped some of the earlier cutscenes, which I'm quite ashamed of. This minion then is a representation of everything that I love about Final Fantasy XIV, its ability to not be too serious with itself, and that it can make stuff for everyone, including people like me.
Number 9.
Seriously, this deep voice thing is probably getting more irritating than I thought it would be. Number 9 is the Kyuubi minion. This then is a crossover with Yokai Watch, just one of the original minions added to that event crossover, which apparently is coming back in 2020 with new weapons and new minions corresponding to the new classes added since the last event to collect, so get hyped for that. Kyuubi is the coolest fox minion ever, representing one of the biggest minions, and certainly one of the most striking that you can collect. People ask me quite often where this one is from, and it's that kind of minion. I like this because it reminds me of the grind I put in for this. You had to grind a lot of the Fate events in the open world to completion during the Yokai Watch event, as you might have seen on my older videos, on the channel where I showed you all about this, and it actually made me feel really good and accomplished afterwards. I'm not really sure what it is, but some of the grindier stuff in 14 really gets me interested more than it probably should mentally, and is probably why I ultimately like Eureka as well. Just constant grind whilst talking to your friends or listening to music, or in my case back then, watching anime. This minion is based on a creature, a yokai if you will, from the Yokai Watch anime, something which I actually tried to watch more than 5 episodes of and got incredibly bored sadly, but it is standalone one of my favourite minions regardless of what it's supposed to be related to. After all, who doesn't love the idea of a giant fox spirit in your collection?
Number 8.
Yeah, I'm not really sure the high pitch works either. Number 8 is the Calamari minion. How do I record this audio with a straight face? It's a tentacle. What's not to love about this thing? It's worth a fair bit on the marketplace from other players because it's a real pain in the butt, pun intended, to actually farm for. Hullbreaker Isle. This place, yikes. It made me suffer. Just a long and frankly boring instance to farm over and over again when it was synced. One of the least interesting places, in my own opinion, in the game. Notice I actually said my opinion there. Some people get angry recently when I share my opinions. I'm sure yours is different. We're not all the same person after all, but I really dislike that dungeon. But yeah, it took way too long to farm for. The drop rate is abysmal, but this is such a brilliant one to add to your collection if you can get it. Clearly a Day of the Tentacle reference in the text write-up, and all of the meme potential you could ever possibly ask for. I can only imagine this is a mandatory minion to your collection if you play on servers such as Balmung.
Number 7. Activate.
So we're doing the robot voice now. Number 7 on the list is the Catchy doll. A reminder then of a really cool side story with the Sky Pirates and the whole Void Ark thing, the Weeping City situation, and that done Scaife one with Diabolos at the end, which hurts really bad. Those Alliance Raid series that I actually really like, especially on Blue Mage recently. A lot of fun to go and blast through those. I love that storyline associated to it, but the real star was clearly Catchy. I should probably call it Kate Sif, as some people think it's pronounced that way, including myself. I used to call it that when I was much younger, playing Final Fantasy VII, and I pretty much mispronounced everything to do with Final Fantasy, as I am well aware, as the comment section never lets it go. And yeah, apparently the proper way to say this is Catchy. Who'd have known? I have no idea. If you told 13-year-old me that, he would have probably punched you in the balls, so it's probably a good thing that no one told me that, and especially if you said Chocobo to him instead of Chocobo, he probably would have gone off of his nut.
Oh, don't mind me, guys. I'm just going to have another chocolate. What?
Catchy is awesome. I love everything to do with this minion. It was actually a pre-order exclusive for pre-ordering A Realm Reborn back in the day, so I guess some might see it as fairly rare, but I don't know, don't ask me. I played in the 2.0 beta, enjoyed it thoroughly, and just bought the game as a result. The side effect was this little fella, and I never forget the times back then every time I look at it. So it is kind of like a window to the past for me, and what a great thing to add to your collection if you can. Number 6. What? Too much echo? Number 6 is the fantastic wind-up Chloe. I'm sorry about this one, but Chloe Aliapo is just adorable. If we ever got to see Meoni as a child in the game with some kind of flashback cutscene, she would probably be exactly like Chloe Aliapo. Adorable, yet keen on collecting stories of soldiers mercilessly butchering animals and gods alike, filling our pretty book of wonders with stickers every time someone murders something new, then smiling sweetly as they all fail to meet the 3-line rewards. Yeah, Chloe's awesome. I did a glamour on her a couple of years ago. Hopefully someday we have more of Chloe Aliapo's storyline, as I, for one, love the Aliapo family in general. Sloey and the others are just as adorable and insane, and they are easily some of my favourite NPCs from this game in general.
Number 5. Get down from that tall building over there. Jeez.
Number 5 is the wind-up Alpha Minion. It had to be on the list. I mean, come on, what a wonderful storyline Omega was. I won't spoil it for any of those that are still going through the game, but I would highly recommend going and doing the Omega series. Alpha legit made me cry in those final scenes. I'm a 30-year-old man now, sat at a desk crying about a yellow chocobo's hardships. Heck yeah, testosterone and all that crap. Seriously though, what a great storyline, and when you find out that you actually get this minion, the world gets at least 60% a better place, and just a little bit more acceptable. Giant monsters, creatures from the void, demons, primals, throw them all my way, because as long as I have Alpha by my side, who really cares? This minion and storyline also got me to buy the Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody on the Nintendo Switch game, by the way, a game I also now love, and Alpha is a playable character. So, yeah, enough said, really.
Number 4. I honestly think we're running out of ideas for silly voices now.
Number 4, unlucky for some, lucky for me. This is the Heliodor Carbuncle Minion, or as you might think, the Topaz Carby. This is obtained from buying the plushie in real life. I was very lucky with this one. It was actually a present that I got last year, and I absolutely adore it. But the minion that comes with it is one of my favourites in the game because, well, carbuncles. They're again a staple of Final Fantasy, but I don't think would ever be the same again without them. They're just a thing that I see every time someone says Final Fantasy now. So yeah, they're a big deal. I love this one. It's also a constant reminder that the Eggy glamour system for Arcanists still hasn't been updated with more glamours. So that's a bit of a big yikes right there. Number 3. Yeah, if you were expecting some kind of effect, there isn't one. Number 3 on the list is the Fat Cat Minion. This is a must-have for anybody who plays Final Fantasy XIV in general, not just the collectors. You have this little fella, you get a sofa with a fat cat on it, you get the fatter cat mount from the Mog Station. It's a never-ending cycle of kitties that we all deserve. I have a big plush of this guy in real life, and it's so soft, and I actually use this as a pillow, so I imagine the minion would probably be just as squishy and comfortable in-game if you could touch it. Hopefully VR one day will be a thing. Obtainable from Fisher Retainer Ventures, this is one of the most iconic 14 creatures, and I'm sure they'll keep adding more Fat Cat related stuff to the game and indeed merchandise as time goes by, because people like me will happily throw our wallets at the screen for more of it. Obey your new kitty overlord. No, not her, this.
Number 2, number 2, number 2, number 2. Number 2. Yikes.
Yes, the Monster Hunter World crossover with 14 blew my tiny little mind. Rathalos as a playable 4-player extreme trial with Monster Hunter-like mechanics? Yes, please. This fight and the crossover's rewards got me hyped when Yoshi P said they might do more with the team in the future. And by goodness, is this one of the best events in the entirety of 14. You start with your mouth on the floor when you see Rathalos and finish it even further dislocated as you realize the final reward is actually a Rathalos mount, which is, by the way, even though this isn't the correct video to talk about it, is one of my favorite mounts in the game. The Palico Minion is an adorable reminder of the storyline featuring it throughout, where confusion set in with Meoni being a Makote and some hilarity which I'll let you explore yourself. It is such a wonderfully written bit of dialogue with that questline and a great minion to add to the collection for anyone like me that loves the Monster Hunter series, or people that don't, that just think it's adorable.
Number 1. In a world without numbers.
Ah, the top spot. My favourite minion, inverted commas, although we're not doing it in any particular order. This changes quite a lot, just letting you know. But for now, it is, drumroll please, that's a drum roll apparently according to my table, is the Clockwork Barrow. Just look at how Barrow-like and clockwork it is. Such a wonderful minion. I really like the brown wood they used and the random Gasal green and never mind. The top spot actually goes to the salt and pepper seal. I swapped my favourite spots out for pretty much whatever I think is the cutest at the time, but I love seals, both in real life and indeed in the game now. Just a small poof of white fluff and beady little eyes. What's not to love, really? Easily one of the nicest collectibles you can obtain, and certainly a gift that you need to get for your significant other. If they don't own it in the game, they will light up like a Christmas tree, I can assure you. It has a reaction to a pet emote where it flops onto its side, which has kept me amused and cheered me up more times than I would care to safely admit in this video. This is actually obtained from the drowned city of Scala and can be sold on the marketplace, so definitely go and get one of those. Like I say, for your friends or significant others, they will thank you later. This is a must-have minion. Go grab it, make your day just a little bit brighter, and yeah, it will just give you immense amounts of pleasure, I can assure you. And there we go. At the time of this video, I only have about 314 minions, which, you know, that's very average compared to the hardcore collectors amongst you, and some people have got, you know, nearly 400 now. But I still miss all of the Realm Reborn Beast Tribe minions and some of the Alliance Raid stuff I can't roll any higher than a 1 on, a couple of dungeons here and there that just don't drop things. So yeah, with all of that stuff missing and limited time investment into everything I want to actually get done in the game this year, I don't think it's too bad of a collection. Hopefully you liked this video. It was a random thought since somebody actually asked me what some of my favourite minions were. So here it is. There's a video. Thank you kindly for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
I don't understand. Actually enjoyed every cutscene, every dialogue box, every little note stuff I would usually gloss over and ultimately miss out on with the previous tribes such as the Migos, which...
Are you absolutely kidding right now? Siri, shut up, please. I'm trying to make a video here.